Most times you feel out of control because fear is winning in your mind right now. And you are so afraid to make the wrong choice and the fear of the unknown. What if it gets worse? What if I screw something up? What if I make the wrong choice?
Gloria Steinem once said, "We will never solve the feminization of power until we solve the masculinity of wealth." Barbara Provost and Maggie Nielsen are the team at Purse Strings that will help you navigate the ins and outs of financial independence so that you can be financially fearless. This is Women in Money, the shit we don't talk about.
Welcome, Erica Bennett, to the Women and Money Shit We Don't Talk About podcast. We are so excited to have you on today. And so before we dive in, I would love you to just introduce yourself to the audience, who you are, what you do, and kind of your story that started you on this professional journey.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I am looking forward to our chat today. Hello, listeners. My name's Erica. I am your favorite crazy ex-wife. I host a podcast called the Crazy Ex-Wives Club, where I help you not feel overwhelmed and stressed from all the emotions of separation and divorce. But what I really do is help you learn how to take back your life from fear, from those emotions that hold us back, from getting stuck, helping you find your way forward.
Awesome. And what was kind of like your impetus to get this started? And I love the name, by the way, Crazy Ex-Wife. I mean, that's just a great title.
We're all crazy a little bit, but we want to be crazy in the good way, right? Crazy in the good way is passionate. Crazy in the good way is love and abundance. Where you're like, yeah, that person's being crazy on the drive to work, but must sprinkle you with love as I drive by you and wish you well for your day. So, okay, what got me started, right? So I spent 20 years in corporate America. My job was sales training. So what do we need to do to thrive? What do we need to do to win? And when you're in corporate, that's sell more, upgrade more, right? And they're very set behaviors, things that we can see, things we can hear, so that we can coach you and help you be better in your job. But in that role, we started to add in trainings that really helped you be a better balanced person. And it was like, this is the jam, you guys. We can't have better employees until we have better humans. Well, when my separation and then divorce hit, it really rocked my world, because as somebody who's always loved self-help and self-improvement and self-development, there wasn't anything I couldn't fix. I could go research it. I could find a new book. I could apply a new technique, and I could fix whatever the problem was. And I couldn't fix the problem in my marriage. I couldn't fix the problem of him being done and walking out. And so it set me down a new path of understanding that, well, yes, behaviors, taking action, those things are important. It's like 10% of what really matters. And 90% is what's happening in our mind, the thoughts, the emotions, the places that are still holding us back. And so I dove deep into understanding fear, how it keeps us stuck, what it does to our mind and our body, how it really starts to control us. And then in 23, launched the podcast and really honed in specifically on helping divorced women. Because when you are trying to navigate the biggest transition of your life, the transition that rewrote your family, your support system, your friends, your home, your money, your job, all the things, it kicks up so much fear and so many of those old stories. And we can't be better, happy individuals until we deal with all of that stuff that's holding us back.
Amen, sister. Been there, done that. You're absolutely right. So what is one of the biggest fears in deciding to start over after divorce? What do you find as you navigate this and as you work with women?
Yeah, my biggest fear was money, which is funny. It's not funny, but I had a job. I was the breadwinner of the family. So to sit in a space of like, you were making really good money. You'd been there a lot of years. You were a director level. Why are you worried about money? It's because money is so crucial to everything we do, right? Our survival, our freedom. Everything is tied into this thing of, can I still afford to live the way that I have become accustomed to living? And so it doesn't really matter whether you are a stay-at-home mom and are not working, or you are working, or you're not making enough. I think the biggest fear that always gets kicked up is around money.
And so how do you help people start moving through kind of this fear?
Right. And that's where my approach. The woo and the do. We need a little of both, right? Because we could read, I had to write a class. When I worked for corporate, I wrote a class for salon owners on how to run a more financially stable location. And so I had done a lot of research, read a lot of books, right? I was even starting to read books like specific on how can women manage their money, right? And there's these checklists of things that we can do. And we know them, right? Do you have an automatic transfer set up every single month moving into savings? Is your money working for you, not just sitting in a low interest savings account? How are we not impulse shopping on Amazon and at Target? Are we avoiding the stores when we don't really need things? Okay, that's all well and good. That's the do stuff of it. But if I don't fix the woo, the energetic money stories you've grown up with, we can't change what you're doing. We can't change the impulse buy, which is really an emotional hit of I just need to feel a little bit better right now, if we don't look at, well, what's causing that? And where did this story of lack and that you'll never have enough or never be safe come from? And then we play the game. So then we play the game of looking for all the places you do already have it. I'm so grateful that I was able to pay my bills this month. I love that there was $5 extra at the end of the month. I love that I have the ability, if I really, like today, I have back-to-back meetings. I love that I have the freedom or the ability to go grab a lunch somewhere else. Those are all ways that we're rewiring and creating a sense of safety and security around our money. And it starts with just looking for where the abundance already is, no matter how small it is.
I love that. I can just picture in my head those checklists that we all like diligently check off, but it's not as satisfying if we're just like kind of then deprive ourselves from all the things that we kind of wanted without really looking at the other side of what we have been able to provide ourselves, what we do have going for us, that we still can have that little treat in there, whatever it may be. It's not this all or nothing thing, but it's also looking at all the other stuff I accomplished. I can keep this roof over my head. I can keep the water running, which I know some days seems like small and it's like, of course I can, but maybe not always, of course. Not everyone has that luxury. And so you have to be thankful for those things that are not, that become just second nature.
Because we get so stuck seeing the gap. Okay, so I was in my separation. One of the magical moments is I manifested being sent to London for work. Okay, so the beauty is that the money part, right? Work is paying to send you. So the hotel was covered and the flight was covered and whatever. And if you've ever been over there, there's signs everywhere. Mind the gap before you get on the tube. And that's what we have to do. We have to mind the gap because we're always looking for like, well, I'm here, but I want to be there. Oh, look how big that gap is between where I am and where I want to get to. Well, mind the gap just means look at where you're at and look at what do I already have that is aligned with where I'm trying to go. Because we forget to celebrate the things, especially right now, I'm trying to work out, I've moved the house space. Is it big enough? Do we need a bigger house? How are we going to afford a bigger house? Can we afford a bigger house? Well, we get so stuck on the hunt for the next house that we stop sitting back and being like, well, I do really love this space. And I love the fact that we're so accustomed to what this mortgage is and everything, the bills are paid. And so that awareness of now, how am I safe, secure? I am okay right now while I'm minding the gap to build where I'm trying to go.
Are they going to love it or list it?
Yeah.
But that's so similar. I mean, Barb and I always talk about this because there's a book that we read. I think it's just called The Gap of the Gain, something like that. And it's just kind of always looking how if you put your arm out, right, you always want what's out there, but you don't see all those miles that you've come. And so even we have those hard days, it's like, all right, we see the gap, but what's the gain? You know, before we always wanted a podcast. Now we're here and it's like, well, I want more downloads. It's like before you just wanted the podcast. And so we definitely resonate with that. And that's a big one that we always come back and talk about as well as kind of that gap in the gain.
Yeah. And there's so many shifts when you go through divorce. Everything is shifting and money is shifting. Like you say, it is the foundation of so much. And for many women, it's the first time they're making a lot of their own financial decisions, which can be very scary for some women. And looking at money as a tool, really as a tool that they can use to help manage and navigate their life and make good financial decisions. So do you teach a mindset shift? I know this gap in the gain, but also do you teach like what are some small money habits that you can formulate? How do you start feeling more in control of your money? Things like that?
Yeah, so I really start first with the belief system because what's happening when we say money, like let's talk money, what's literally happening in your physical body? Most likely, especially if you're stressed about money, you're feeling tense. You
Yeah.
might feel it in your chest, your shoulders have raised, you're not breathing as much. Well, I can't get to any sort of logical aspect of your brain, the magical part of your brain, if we haven't dealt with your nervous system being ready to fight or flight. And so we've got to play a little bit of a game to rewire some of those reactions in the body. And it's not as simple as just saying, well, I don't need to worry about money. I mean, I could tell myself that the paycheck came in every 2 weeks. Why are you worried about money? That's so dumb. Well, then why was I still worrying about it? The nervous system was running the show, right? That reptilian part of your brain, the first part takes over instantly and it triggers, do I need to fight? Do I need to flight? Do I need to freeze, right? What do I need to do? And so I actually start a lot with some money games. Like I really love, there's one if you've heard about writing the check to yourself and put that check in your wallet. And so every time you open it up, you laugh a little bit. You're like, ha, this money is on its way to me. This problem is going to be solved. Like I've turned it over. There's something coming. I also would play the game of like finding pennies. Every time you find a penny on the floor, wherever you're stopping, you're picking it up, you're like, oh my God, the money is being sent to me. The thing is already happening. And now the other one I would do, which is a little spicier, is I used to imagine that all the money in my bank account was actually just fornicating all night and reproducing on its own.
Well, when you talk about compound interest,
Right? Like, because sometimes I'd be like, wow, there's still money in there. How is there still money in there? I was like, well, it must be busy all night long taking.
that's right.
But when we add a little humor to it, right, our nervous system can calm down. And once our nervous system can calm down, now we can start actually changing the behaviors. First and foremost, are you emotionally shopping? Let's like nip that one right away. There's some staple ones that I already mentioned. Everybody should have an automatic transfer to savings. I don't care if it's $5, make it happen. And it's moving not just into a whatever savings account, but move it into a high yield savings account. Make your money work for you. You don't have to jump into the stock market. You don't have to have all this money. But what is that? That's a basic. Everybody should have that. Then we look at where is the waste? Where is your money bucket leaking? Because you had a really rough day. And so I deserve a treat today. Well, do you want to spend this money now at Target or do you want to spend this money when you get to go to Hawaii on a vacation, right? Pick a dream vacation. Do you really want this thing? Or I'd take a lot of pictures of it, right? Instead of buying it, take the picture of it. Next day, if you still want it, go back and get it. Break the emotional connection to needing the thing. And when we fix those two, a lot of the easy leaky bucket stuff goes away so that we can start to make changes in what we're doing with our money.
Yeah, put it in the shopping cart and then see if you need it 48 hours later.
I am really a guilty serial returner. So now I leave it in the shopping cart and I come back. Like, love a good wish list on Amazon. When it was in-person shopping all the time, and I'd buy it, I'd bring it home, it'd sit in the corner. A couple days later, I'd try it on again and try it on again and be like, yeah, I just don't like it this time. And it would go back. If that's your pattern, that's emotional shopping. That is shopping because, oh my God, it feels so good and I feel so happy right now. And so I just want more stuff. You don't really need the stuff. Oh, you know, the other one that's super helpful, beliefs, things ingrained in my system. If it's a good deal, if it's a good value, you should pick it up.
Oh, yeah. You don't need it, but it was a good deal.
Entire 4-bedroom house full of good deals from like Michael's, right? You know, when they used to put all the picture frames on sale and all the canvases on sale, and I had a little toddler. And so, of course, you're pinning all these arts and crafts things you're going to do with your kid. And then I'm buying all the canvases. I think like 40 unopened canvases went out the door when I got divorced and like cleaned the house and got rid of stuff. Or I'll be like, oh my gosh, there's a food dehydrator. It's on sale. Are you going to start dehydrating food? No, not today, but it's on sale. You know how much?
Someday.
Yeah.
I feel like just called out of all the money I just spent at Joann's while it's closing and everything was a good deal. And I was like, well, now I'm set for 3 years on yarn if anyone needs any.
Yeah, I mean, we all have those moments because I did get that email when Joann's. I was like, wait, what? No, I have to go buy some stuff. But, you know, we're not perfect all the time. But if you can trim back 80% of it, then guess what? There's less stress. We're not saying this is what's going to make you $1 million, but I'm saying this is what's going to give you some breathing room every single month to not be so stressed and overwhelmed by money that you're frantic to find an answer right now.
So tell us about the Crazy Ex-Wives Club, the podcast and the movement. Where's that going? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so the Crazy Ex-Wives Club, we've been out for, it'll be 2 years in just like 2 weeks. June is the 2-year anniversary. So it started like all good magical moments do, right? For about a year, people are like, you should start a podcast. And I was like, I don't even listen to podcasts. Like, what are you talking about? Like, seriously, I barely have time to like listen to my audiobook. So here we are, right? All of a sudden, I'm like, fine, I will dive in. I don't know how to get this started, but I'm following the inspired action. Okay. I'm following like, hey, I'm really like, I feel good right now. I'm really happy with myself. Things are going well today. Oh, creative idea. What if I talked about this on the podcast? I thought it was actually going to be about just healing modalities because I'm all big about like get into your feels and clean out the gunk so that you can have what you want in life. And then the name, the Crazy Ex-Wives Club, again, little magical download, right? And it was like, yeah, I think that's it. Because when have you not gone on a date with somebody and they're like, oh yeah, my ex is crazy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're always crazy.
They're always crazy. They're always crazy. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I had some crazy moments. I had some yelling and screaming. I had some moments that like, ooh, did I do that? Why did I do that? We don't want to be crazy slashing tires. Like all the country songs, keying cars, slashing tires. That's bad crazy, you guys. That's bad crazy. That's emotions that are out of control. And I, from a little kid, have had big emotions and I didn't know how to deal with them. I didn't learn how to take care of my own needs. I put it on somebody else. Or you're here now. Now you should take care of me so I feel better. As I got through my divorce, as I figured out how wonderful and amazing life could be, I was really looking at my son and I was like, God, I don't want you to have unhealed kids on the playground. I don't want you to have to deal with not understanding what do feelings feel like and like get through it and move on and do your thing. And so the podcast was really that platform to help people look at healing the places that broke differently. We don't talk trash about our ex. This is about personal transformation. Yes, it hurt. What does your inner self really need you to see and learn and know about that? How can you meet your own needs? And now, how can we move forward? Because, I mean, stuff is always going to come up in life, totally conditions. You could lose your job. You could have to move. You could get divorced. It doesn't really matter what the thing is. We all have big moments that are outside of our control. And so how do we take the bounce? So the podcast is about helping women take the bounce. Yes, it hurt. Yes, we need to heal that. Yes, we need to hold space for that. And we need to move forward. We can't get stuck in this. We cannot keep being retaliatory towards our ex. The adults in the divorce need to act like adults and like kids. And we can only do that when we heal our own inner child wounds. So podcast has been out for 2 years. This summer, the club launches. So the club is a private paid space for you to meet other women who are also going through it, for you to have access to the support, the inspiration, the answers that you're looking for, and it's all online. And then you also are sent tools to help you move through your healing journey. Right? Because there's not one answer. I need this book right now, or I need this crystal, or this essential oil, or this ritual, or this whatever. So the club is your place to get that. I was thinking about this last night, right? I mean, we have so many spaces online. You see them all the time about women's business groups. Oh my gosh, come join this network. It's full of professional women supporting women. Okay, or oh, come join this mom group. It's working moms or stay-at-home moms supporting moms. Divorce is going to rock all those pieces. And so this is that space for you there. Sometimes our friends don't know how to support us. Sometimes our family has their own personal agenda. So this community online gives you that place to go. You don't have to do, I mean, how many hours did I spend doing 2 a.m. Google searches trying to find a blog or somebody's like article that was going to give me the answer? We're going to skip that part and we're going to put you in a safe, supportive community with other women, with professional guidance, with curated gifts that are sent to you every quarter to support you. because we ladies, we can do a lot more than we think we can when we truly believe in ourselves. So we're going to lift you up in those first phases, like unhappily married, early separation, that space where you're like, I don't know. I'm so afraid to make the wrong decision. I know I can't stay, but I don't know how to move forward. And what do I need to do?
Yeah, and you're certainly onto something because when I went through a divorce, I was actually in a group like that. All strangers came together in a woman's home. She was a therapist. There were like 6 or 7 of us, all in different places in our divorce, some thinking, some almost through it, all different concerns about whether it's the children, the emotions, the dating, the whatever. And do you know, to this day, we are still good best friends because we all helped each other through a time where we didn't know how to navigate it. We had this range of emotions that we'd quite sure how to deal with. Plus, it was legal issues and financial issues and housing issues and children issues that we never had to deal with before. So I think what you're doing is a beautiful gift to women who are really going to struggle. They're in pain, they're uncertain. And yeah, when women come together, they lift each other up, support systems for one another. And I think what you're doing is really a gift to women who are going to be going and navigating this really difficult time, but they're going to come out the other side so much more empowered and happier, which I think is okay. Divorce is not a dirty word. It can be very empowering and a gift to yourself if you're not in a very good place.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah. I miss that community aspect, right? We used to have, prior to my time, but whatever. We used to have, right? When you were in a tribe, you had newlyweds, you had people with young children, you had the sage advice of your elders. Divorce is the same way, right? We don't know what we don't know. Most of ours, the first time, we're trying to figure out our way through it. And when there's just somebody holding a light, even 1 or 2 steps ahead of you to be like, you've got this, like, keep going. You are so close. It helps us get through it faster. It helps us take the balance to be able to move forward and to pick up the pieces because otherwise we get stuck and we get stuck for a lot of years, just uncertain what to do, what to trust, what to believe. We can't really trust our thoughts. We can't really trust our emotions. We don't understand why we're still getting triggered or upset at things. And especially for women like myself who I climbed the corporate ladder, whatever I set my mind to, I achieved. So then why did this thing keep knocking me on my butt? Like, why couldn't I just move forward and let it go? So if you are stuck in that area, we would love to have you over at the club.
Yeah, I think that's so powerful. And I know one thing, like Barb, that you always say that you shared from the group is also learning just how to not repeat some of the patterns again, too, which is, I just think so. As humans, it's hard to see our own blind spots. And so just to have someone be like, all right, now we're stepping back into the same things. Let's pivot, let's turn, let's not do that same thing is always just helpful as well. That way you can continue going forward and not just, have yourself kind of go in this circle. But the other thing, Erica, when we were talking about this previously and you're sending the boxes, I love how you also touched on, like, I send one for the holidays so they have something to open under the tree or whatever holiday they celebrate. I just think that's so thoughtful as a community of having that item there. Because if you have 5 and 6-year-olds, like, they're not going to go out and buy you a present and you can't expect like your ex to do that for the kids or something like that. But, it's always like, well, why didn't mom get a gift? Why didn't someone bring her that? And so I loved how it's just that community vibe, even in those situations that, are going to be harder, that first holiday, that first Mother's Day or whatever, where someone's not kind of supporting you there, which I thought that was a great way to really tighten that community and have that be taken offline and really into those tougher moments.
Thank you. Yeah, and I just am really excited to send you guys cool stuff. Yeah, each quarter. And I timed it specifically around so there's one in the summer. That's the one that's coming next month. Then we have September, which is my birthday month, because again, I'm so grateful that you're here with me. And so I'm grateful that you guys want to do this work. I'm grateful that you're like, yeah, I don't want to do divorce where I'm bitter for 20 years and stuck complaining about it. Like, I'm ready to move forward. So I send you a gift during my birthday. And then December, I remember that was some of the scariest seasons. I celebrate Christmas. I love Christmas. It was always my favorite holiday. It took almost 7 years before I actually started to get back into Christmas because it just knocked the wind out of my sails. Like, I couldn't find that loving feeling, but I still had a kid I had to get it ready for. And that fear of, is there even going to be anything under the tree for me? And so when your kid is little, when nobody else is helping them, like, I'm grateful that my family would step in. They would rotate between like my mom, my sister-in-law or my sister, somebody would call and talk to my son and say, hey, what have you thought? What would you like to make? Do you need help on this? And that meant the world to me, but it also is like, it's a real fear. And so I will send you a present so that you have something that you don't know what it is. Because guess what? Everybody goes, well, buy yourself some things off Amazon or go to Target and get.
I do that every week.
It was like, I already know that I did that all on Black Friday when everything was on sale. Like, what? So I'm going to take my Black Friday stuff and wrap it under the tree? Like, this doesn't work. You need something that you don't know what's coming. It is a surprise. And so you will get something in December and then you'll get something in March. So they're curated gifts. They're specific to helping you move through what you're going through so that you feel loved and supported. And you got a cheerleader in your corner. You are going to get through this.
Beautiful.
And so if women listening today are thinking about divorce or going through a divorce, what's like one powerful they could take today to just feel a little bit more in control?
Ooh, okay. Well, no, just kidding. It's just kind of where they're at, but here is what I would say. Most times you feel out of control because fear is winning in your mind right now, and you are so afraid to make the wrong choice, and the fear of the unknown. What if it gets worse? What if I screw something up? What if I make the wrong choice? So the one thing, if that's the narrative that's happening in your head, is I want you to relieve some of that pressure by saying, what is meant for me will always find its way. Whether you've already asked for a separation and now you're wondering if that was the right choice, like whatever is meant for me will find its way. You're unhappily married and you're like, do I stay or do I go? Whatever is meant for me will find my way. And then remove the personal demand that you have to have an answer now. I don't know today, but I know I'm getting clear. I don't have the answer right now, but I know every day I'm learning a little bit more. I will make the decision when I'm ready to make the decision, because that's the truth, you guys. Nobody chooses to leave until they're really ready. A lot of people will tell you that they stayed far longer than they should have. And then they beat themselves up on that. Like so much shame, so much regret. Oh my gosh, I wasted all these years. You didn't. You weren't ready. And you don't want to make that choice until you're ready. So if you are spiraling, if you are spinning, stop putting so much pressure on yourself to have the answer now. Listen to the podcast, read some books, talk to some other people. Every day you're picking up more clarity and you will come to your solution if you're open to it. So just open that door to be able to hear it.
That was good. That was good. Just for anyone listening, any piece of advice. I mean, it'll come to me when I'm ready. So yeah, this has been a great conversation, and we have a question that we ask everybody on this show. So Erica, now it's your turn. What is your own definition of financial freedom?
Okay, so what I really want to talk about is this, is I think that we get so caught up in numbers, especially now that social media and everybody's on social media telling you that they're making millions of dollars by selling a $27 digital download.
And it's all true.
They're all like, oh my gosh, go start. This is how I retired my husband. This is how I went from $50,000 in debt. And is it true? For sure. For sure. Is it true for everybody? No, it doesn't mean it can't be true for you. But what I'm trying to say is like we put so much pressure to have that $1 million. And if you're trying to find $5 to buy some raspberries because they look delightful at the store today, that's too big of a gap. Remember that mind the gap? We can't do that. And so I have been doing a lot of work myself because I think we go, oh my gosh, I want to be a millionaire. Why? Because we think that millionaires don't worry about money. Okay, well, do you really need $1 million to not worry about money? What is my new base level that would make me feel so free? Because financial freedom to me is the ability to use my money to enhance my life by either making it easier or making it more fun. I want to go on a trip. I want to fly first class. I want to go show up on my friend's doorstep and surprise her. That's financial freedom to me, right? I want to be able to go buy a new couch because the one's uncomfortable. Okay, great. That's financial freedom. I want to hire somebody. Someday, when I'm really financially free, I'm hiring a chef because I don't want to cook. I don't like cooking. I would love to have somebody take care of meal planning for me and having the food ready to go. I talked to somebody, I thought that meant you had to be a millionaire. And he's like, it's not that much money at all. So we just have to get real clear on like, what is the thing that would bring more joy to our life? Because it doesn't have to be $1 million. If 10,000 more dollars showed up right now, I know we were just talking a little bit about silent auction fundraiser I'm supporting. that would mean the world. That would give so much freedom to the family that we're raising the money for. So for me, it's having just a little extra to splurge when I want to splurge.
I love that. It's great. And yeah, having a private chef, I mean, it could be cheaper than takeout every day for sure.
For sure, like, and then I watch some of them online on like TikTok and whatever, and I'm like, yeah, this could be so much easier in my life than all, and especially like all the groceries you go buy and then you throw out, you do it again, and
The time you grocery shop, the time you cook, you pay for that time back.
when I have that, I'm gonna feel so luxurious. I'll be like, ladies, it's time. It's episode 2. I got a personal chef.
You'll be, excuse me, I have to let my chef in.
Right? Exactly. But yeah, I mean, I think financial freedom has to mean $1 million, and it doesn't. It has to mean whatever that thing is so that you can breathe every day and have the space to do what you want to do.
Awesome. This has been great. So Erica, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your expertise today. The links to Erica's podcast, The Crazy Ex-Wife Club, and the links for the club, which is opening soon, will all be in the show notes so everyone can jump in and be part of that community as well. So we thank you for coming on today, and please share this with a friend as we want to keep spreading the word. You've been listening to Women in Money, the shit we don't talk about. Now it's time to take what you've learned and make bold moves towards financial independence. Stay in the know by joining our newsletter for exclusive tools, resources, and updates that keep you financially fearless. Head to pursestrings.co and sign up today. Need a financial professional who gets it? Turn to PurseStrings' Curated directory, your go-to resource for financial experts who know how to put you first. Love this episode? Leave us a review and help us empower even more women to own their financial power. Until next time, be financially fearless.